Yo, what's up, honkers? Sorry that I haven't been uploading for a little bit. I was having an episode. Anyway, I did want to let y'all know that videos will be coming soon. Also, that I hope you like spooky things, because in October, I'm going to be uploading every, like, I don't know, maybe every 2 videos, maybe every 3 videos. It's going to be a spooky video in October. I love Halloween. It is my favorite holiday in the entire year. So I figured, why not? Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. Anyway, this video secret word is booby. That's right. Did I stutter? Booby. Comment the secret word down below and I will give it a heart. All right, let's get right into the video.
This jellyfish is basically a time bomb.
What?
Introducing
Why?
the Irukandji, a species of jellyfish native to the northern waters of the land down under,
Oh,
and
obviously.
possibly my
Caleb.
least favourite animal in the entire ocean, because it is just a massive, spiteful well, massive is...
How did I know he was
this
gonna
little
say
guy
that?
is tiny. I mean, ridiculously small. Being not...
Why do you gotta use Tyler 1? Oh, man. Also, I've always wondered this. Why is that their favorite word in Australia? Like, I understand it's used as a term of endearment, but like, I wonder what popularized it. Anyone that could tell me in the comments, please, I would like to know.
much bigger than your fingernail at the head and basically
Wow, that's
completely
tiny.
f***ing invisible to the naked eye. This is a fairly major problem, because behind that halo cloak frame they are dragging 3-foot-long tentacles and shocking absolutely no one.
Say the line, Bart!
It is one of the most venomous jellyfish in the ocean.
Yay!
I'm so f***ing tired of the stealth poison multi-classes on OCE servers, dude. This shit is broken.
Yeah,
you see,
it is.
those 3-foot
Dumb.
tentacles are covered with tiny little barbs, and at the barest
Tiny,
touch, they
tiny
will literally
little barbs.
propel themselves into your skin like a bullet and inject you with the Australia Special, a pina colada cocktail of various neurotoxins. And upon being
obviously.
injected, you will feel absolutely nothing.
Oh,
You'll keep swimming around,
Cool.
splashing about in the water, kissing the homies, until you are overcome with a sudden, severe feeling of impending dread. I mean the kind of dread that will have you hysterically screaming that you are about to die.
I
am gonna die! I'm gonna die! I'm gonna f***ing die!
That's
I'm gonna
because
die!
The invisible cunt here does psychic damage, inflicting a
Psychic
condition known as
damage?
Irukandji syndrome, which starts with a
Irukandji.
feeling of impending doom so strong, there are records of people asking to be, avoiding a ban here, forcibly disconnected from God's Minecraft server.
Oh,
And that feeling of doom is
Cool.
warranted because about 30 minutes after being stung, that biological bomb goes off, with the venom initially causing extreme pain throughout your entire body. And after making you feel like a failed isekai protagonist, the venom then spikes your blood pressure and heart rate through the roof.
Does it
which
kill
can cause
you?
Heart attacks, blood clots,
Oh, never
and
mind,
has
yeah,
even
it
been
can.
reported to cause brain hemorrhages.
oh.
And the f***ed up part is, it doesn't have an anti-venom.
This thing sneak attacks you, waits 30 minutes, sends you a private DM telling you it got your ass.
Hey, guess what,
and
asshole?
There is not a fucking thing you can do about it.
They really need to calm it down with the stealth stuff on the EOCA server. There's so many venomous things there, man.
This adorable little octopus is also
Yeah,
the
tiny
world's
little
deadliest.
bite. Oh,
Introducing the blue-ringed octopus, a species of cephalopod native to Australia.
It looks so
and a shock
cute.
to precisely 0 people at this point. It's venomous. Because
Of course it is.
Venomous. Why wouldn't it be venomous? That'd make my life way too fucking easy.
Yeah.
Now, to its credit, unlike most of the toxic bullshit in this hellscape I call
It's
home,
pretty easy
they
to
at least
see.
have the common decency to
Yeah.
be coloured like a fucking neon sign.
Yeah.
However, it immediately loses this credit by being the octopus equivalent of a fucking hobbit, coming in smaller
Look at how
than
tiny
a
it
50-cent
is.
coin. And this is a problem, because it is the most venomous octopus in the world.
yep.
That's right, this fluoro spaghetti ball is packed to the brim with neurotoxin. More specifically, tetrodotoxin.
Tetrodotoxin.
You know, the same shit that turns cooking a puff fish into a quick time event?
Yeah.
Yeah, these little
Oh.
guys are packing it too. However, because it is Australian, the blue-ringed octopus is on violence timing and is the only animal in the world to use this shit as an offensive measure by way of a venomous bite.
Oh,
But what does the
cool.
venom actually do? Well, imagine you're wading through the rock pools with the homies.
Yeah, most of the tetrodotoxin, neurotoxin things, isn't it like you touch it and then it hurts you? Whereas this one aggressively bites you. That's kind of crazy. The only other animals I could think that do that are snakes and spiders. What other venomous animals are there that do that bite you that aren't lizards. I think that might be it.
And you accidentally disturb this little gentleman's residence. The blue ring, taking the American approach to home defense, suctions onto your leg and bites you. Best part, it's completely painless. So if you're distracted by how thick your mate's looking in those Speedos, you aren't going to feel shit. That is, until your face starts tingling like TV static. It's warm out here under the sun, but you weren't sweating like this 5
really
minutes
hot.
ago, and now you got a headache. You start to feel sick, weak. You go to call out, but your voice comes out slurred like you just knocked back a bottle of vodka.
2 shots of vodka?
Lady, that's not 2 shots of
And then
vodka.
suddenly, your legs come out from under you, and you hit the beach.
Oh,
Fun fact about
man.
tetrodotoxin. It's a paralytic. Freezes up your muscles one by one, starting with your arms and legs, which is why you're kissing the sand. You know what else is a muscle? Your diaphragm, the muscle that controls your breathing.
Yep.
And yeah, turns those bad boys off too. And so,
Yeah, when you can't
your chest
breathe anymore.
stops rising and falling, and you suffocate to death right there on the beach.
You can't move. You dead, boy.
You may be wondering, how come no one called an ambulance? That's easy. They didn't have time to. You went up to meet your ancestors in under 20 minutes. God ordered your ass with same-day shipping.
Damn.
And this little delivered.
Is there any, like, an anti-venom for this thing, though? Like, is there? So, say if, like, they are able to get there before you die, say if, like, the ambulance is 5 minutes away, would you be able to live?
Employee of the month.
I ate lunch with a wild lizard. You see, before I made videos, I worked as a handyman, and one day a client asked me to do some brush cutting because
More Parz lore.
putting it lightly, completely f***ed. So I'm taming a miniaturized version of the Amazon jungle, and I see something that nearly gives me a heart attack. A big lump of scales slithering through the brush about 2 steps ahead of me. Being Australian, I immediately assumed it was a snake, which is a problem, because the only 2 snakes in my home state are highly venomous and extremely aggressive.
Snake,
so I
taipan or
immediately
whatever.
stopped what I was doing, backed the f*** up, and got ready to call in the snake catcher to relocate the angry hospital noodle.
Help me.
However, while dialing the number, I noticed something. That was kind of too fat to be a snake, and it hadn't tried to eat me yet. So, being the poster child for why women live longer than men, I waddled back over for a closer look, and I
Yeah, don't do this. Don't. Oh, it's a little skink.
found this little guy.
It's a little skink
This
boy.
is a blue-tongue lizard, and they're actually pretty cool. Native to Australia, these bad boys are basically a tubby skink, but as the name suggests, they have a bright blue neon tongue. Now,
Yeah.
I couldn't just leave this distinguished gentleman in harm's way, so I yoinked him and began looking for a place to relocate him away from where I was working.
Yoink.
However, during the relocation process, this cute little man proceeded to cuddle up to my shirt and fall asleep, and did not particularly appreciate me trying to move him from his
That's
resting
so
place.
cute.
So, considering it was the middle of the day, I just said, fuck it, called a lunch break, and proceeded to sit in the sun eating a chicken sandwich while Godzilla's little cousin took a nap on my shirt. He sat with me for my entire 30-minute lunch break without me holding him. However, unfortunately, I was only halfway through my workday, so after I wrapped up lunch, I had to say goodbye. I very delicately removed my new scaled friend from my shirt and released him back into the wild.
Aww.
Off you go. Back in.
All right, go.
There you go.
There you go, bud.
Hey, friend.
I think this incident legally qualifies me as the first Australian Disney princess. I ate lunch with a lot of people are scared of snakes.
They sure
But have
are.
you ever wondered what snakes
Me
are scared
included.
of? The answer is this
Yeah, fucking
bird.
eagles and shit.
Introducing the secretary bird, native to the continent of Africa,
Secretary
and a prime
bird.
example that being a hater pays off. Coming in at 1.3 meters tall and 4.27 kilos in weight, this lanky turkey has been purpose-built, nay, expertly fucking engineered by the gods themselves with the sole purpose of violating the ever-loving out of any garden hose that so much as looks at it the wrong way.
What about the venomous ones?
You see, these bad boys are birds of prey, but unlike their cousins in the same category,
They don't fly.
they are primarily terrestrial, which means they spend most of their time on the ground. This is because their preference for diet is sentient slithering sausages. However, with this thing being endemic to Africa, their preferred meal also just happens to include some of the deadliest predators on the fucking planet. Does this stop the secretary bird?
No.
No, mate.
Obviously not.
Despite having no natural venom resistance,
Oh.
these absolute fucking giga chads will eat cobras, boom
What?
slangs, and black mambas without breaking a sweat.
How?
But how do they
How?
hunt these things without getting bitten? Simple. They just kick the fuck out of them.
Oh, fair enough. Snake!
You
Snake!
see, those long-ass legs aren't just for show, as a secretary bird is capable of accurately curb stomping a snake's head into the ground with a force equal to 5 times their fucking body weight.
Well, birds are pretty light, so I don't imagine that's very heavy.
So when a secretary bird fancies a bite to eat, they start out by stomping the ground around dense vegetation. This causes snakes in the area to poke their heads out of their house
Be like,
to
hey,
see what
the fuck is
going
that?
on. The snake then looks up in horror as the secretary bird locks onto him, sprints over at Mach 9, and then...
Oh!
This is the deadliest snake in the world.
Oh, yeah!
Introducing the inland taipan, and being
Yeah,
the
taipan.
deadliest venom noodle in the world, I will give you exactly one guess as to where it's found.
I'll show you. The Down Under.
It's Australia, of course.
Yep.
It's in Australia. Be so serious here. Where the else did you think you were going to find it? Canada? More specifically, as the name suggests, the taipan is...
Speaking of which, I wonder how many deadly animals live in Canada. I know that moose, which I learned that the plural for moose is just moose and not meese, and that triggers the shit out of me. But like, what type of animals other than that do you have to worry about in Canada? Like, actually, well, probably grizzly bears. And moose. I can't think of much else.
found inland in the outback. Luckily, extremely far from civilization, because this homicidal hospital hose is the definition of size doesn't matter. Because despite having extremely small fangs for a venomous snake, coming in at only 6.2 millimeters.
That's massive.
the
What do you
tape is
mean?
here to show you that you absolutely f***ing can feel less than an inch, because those fangs contain the statistically deadliest snake venom on the fucking planet. But yeah, taipan venom
And
is
they
a
eat
pina
rats.
colada of pain, containing but not limited to hemotoxins to cause blood clots, myotoxins for paralysis and necrosis, nephrotoxins
Right.
to shut down your kidneys, and 3 different kinds of
Neurotoxin?
neurotoxin. Needless to say, if it bites you, you will get a headache, vomit up the entire contents of your stomach,
You have a
collapse
brain
to the ground
hemorrhage.
in agonizing pain, and then your heart and lungs will stop, sending you to meet God in under 15 minutes.
That's fast.
And that venom is so fucking potent that one bite contains enough toxin to do that to 100 people. But
Damn.
the funniest part of this snake's venom is that in the wild, they only hunt rats
Yep.
and fucking mice. The deadliest venom on the planet. And
And
they are
they eat-
using it to pack up Remy the
Remy,
rat.
yep.
It's like hunting a rabbit with a fucking AWP.
That's the cutest f***ing thing I've ever seen in my
Pew!
life.
Yup. Hell yeah.
This Australia has a straight up Pokemon.
What? What?
Introducing the brushtail possum. More
Oh, it's so
specifically,
cute.
The golden brushtail possum.
Bro, that thing looks like it doesn't have a goddamn thought in its head. Look at it. Look at that thing. It just you look at it and it just goes like. That's all it does.
Native to the land down under, and one of the
Satan's Zoo.
rare examples of an Australian animal that isn't expressly designed to DoorDash you straight to
Wait,
heaven.
what?
You see, the brushtail is one of a grand total of
Of course, it's deadly. Of course it is. Of course it is. It's in fucking Australia. Why can't it just be cute? God damn it.
23 species of Australian possum, which, despite
So many
the name,
marsupials
share
there.
absolutely no relation to the red-blooded American opossum. These adorable little marsupials come in all shapes and sizes, from the ringtail possum to the sugar glider.
Oh,
and
no!
to our protagonist here, the golden brushtail, which is really just a common brushtail possum with a rare genetic mutation called leucism that causes them to lose the
Oh, yeah, Yeah,
skin.
albino, essentially.
So, basically, it's a fucking shiny Pokemon. Coming in at around 4.5 kilos and 40 centimeters in length, these tree-dwelling marsupials are nocturnal and primarily herbivores, mainly insisting on a diet of leaves and fruit. And for
they got some
acute
sharp
points,
claws.
as marsupials, yes, they carry around their babies in a little pouch like their roided-out cousin the kangaroo. However, come on, the thing is from Australia, you didn't really think these bad boys would be squeaky clean, did you? You see,
I did.
They aren't entirely herbivores. Sure, they love a good salad. They will also quite happily raid a bird's nest and turn Tweety's kids into a 3-egg omelette. Roadkill? Sounds like a fine steak dinner to me.
God damn, okay.
And just because it's not a venomous predator doesn't mean it can't take your fucking finger off. And the cherry on top.
Okay.
Aussie Pikachu here doesn't go Pika. No,
What's it say? What's it
Down
sound
Under
like?
doesn't have Pokemon trainers, because when you step into the tall grass out here, you hear this absolute fucking demon.
Yeah, y'all can keep it. Y'all can keep the Pikachu. I'm good.
This animal will peel your face off like a banana.
Oh, cool.
Introducing
Like
the
chimpanzee.
one creature that strikes fear into the hearts of every Aussie. The infamous, terrifying drop bear.
The drop
a
bear.
species of predatory
Drop bears aren't real.
marsupial exclusive to the land down under. This genuine nightmare may seem pretty normal at first, closely resembling a koala bear, and that is by design. You see, the drop bear is an ambush predator, patrolling the branches of the eucalyptus tree and using their keen sense of smell to detect incoming prey. And once they can smell you approaching, they will position themselves in the leaves of the trees, being basically impossible to spot unless you're actively looking for them. And even if you do see them, you're automatically going to assume it's a koala. And that assumption is probably going to be the last mistake you make, because walking under these things is inviting the most painful death you can think of.
Right,
Once you've walked into range, the drop bear will launch itself from a tree and aim directly for your head. Small animals
Peel
will
your
often be
face
clapped
off.
on impact as the 20-kilo drop bear launched itself out of the tree so fast that it snaps their spine. And they're the lucky ones, because once they make contact with your head, drop bears will immediately puncture your scalp with their foreclaws and latch on like a fuzzy little face hugger.
Okay, drop bears are not. Oh my god, English. Drop bears aren't. Try number 3. Drop bears aren't real, right? They can't be. This is just a wet koala.
Once firmly attached to your skull, the drop bear will start to kick out your eyes with its hind claws in an attempt to blind you. And while they are forcing you to cosplay Daredevil, they will be tearing into your face with their fangs like a fucking chainsaw.
Okay.
The attacks are so vicious, most human victims end up being completely scalped and having their faces removed. And even if you manage to pull them off in the initial assault, those claws contain a potent neurotoxin which will paralyze you in under 5 minutes, allowing them to run you down and eat you alive. Australia loses roughly 600 people per year to drop bear attacks. So if you want to survive your trip down under, I have a secret to share with you about the drop bear. And that secret is that all of this is complete and utter bullshit. Drop bears aren't real. I made it all up. April Fool's.
God damn
This
it.
animal
Fuck you.
This snake can take your arm off.
'Tis but a scratch.
It's just a scratch, bruh.
Arms off.
Introducing the fer-de-lance, a species of pit viper native to South America and Mexico. With this particular nope rope having quite possibly one of the nastiest fucking bites in the world.
I'm assuming it has like necrosis properties to it with its venom.
This is a fairly major problem, because this little has the temperament of an eshay at a train station.
Bruh.
Being incredibly aggressive and extremely territorial. In fact, this toxic garden hose is such an aggressive little within its range, it makes up an average of 50% of all snake bites.
Wow.
However, despite the huge number of attacks, it's only fatal in 6% of bites. So why is it such a problem? Just because you live the bite doesn't mean you'll want to. You see, when a fer-de-lance bites you, this massive viper sinks its huge inch-long fangs into your skin. It injects you with 2 teaspoons of venom. You will at this point notice a little status effect bar appear on the bottom of your screen.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
That's
don't worry
a mystery
about that.
mouse Couture little hurdles
Yeah, don't
later.
worry about it.
Upon being bitten, your blood pressure immediately crashes lower than the stock market,
Ooh,
and
that's
you
not
start
good.
to feel very ill. The bite wound feels like you've been shot in the f***ing leg, you start sweating like someone's looking through your browser history, and then you start puking your guts up. Shortly followed by your collapse into the ground in agony. Now, fer-de-lance venom is hemorrhagic,
God.
so while you're having a frat boy moment on the ground, the venom is breaking down
Blood
the
clot.
walls of your blood vessels, causing massive internal bleeding. At the same time, it's seeping into your bloodstream, causing it to thicken and start throwing clots.
Oh,
Hey,
boy.
you're in luck. You were with a buddy when you got bitten. They rush you to the hospital, and because it's such a common snake bite, they have the anti-venom on hand and administer it
Cool.
immediately, counteracting the venom's effects.
Awesome.
There is just one problem. The mystery mouse Cthulhu is still there.
Yeah, it's
because
still there.
anti-venom is not necromancy. So, all the dead tissue around the bite caused by the blood
Gotta cut it
clots
off.
and internal bleeding, yeah, still very
Yeah.
dead. In fact, it's so dead that it is rotting on your still alive body in a process called necrosis. I
Yep.
can't show you a photo of necrosis because it's genuinely
Yeah, it's
disgusting.
pretty bad,
But to put it
dude.
in a term you can understand,
Don't look it up.
the snake applies scarlet rot.
Yeah.
Now, so long as that rot's still attached to you, it's gonna spread. So, there's only one way to stop it. Cut it off.
Cut it off the arm, leg.
Komodo dragons are horror villains. I mean,
Meh.
seriously, this industrial-sized lizard is easily one of the biggest assholes in the animal kingdom when it comes to hunting methods, packing a PhD in suffering and a double degree in biological warfare,
why?
purely because they cannot...
Don't they have like bacteria in their mouths or something? So if they bite you, it's like equivalent to a snake bite. They don't actually have venom. It's just like all the bacteria that's in their mouth.
be expending effort to hunt. You see, Godzilla's little cousin here is the largest lizard in the world, weighing
Is
up
it?
to 166 kilos
God
and
damn.
being a full 3.13 meters in length.
I thought, can't crocodiles grow up to like 20 feet? Like I thought they found one in Africa. They found like a crocodile grew up to like 20 feet or some shit.
Which means, for the short kings and my
I'd count that
audience,
as a lizard.
if you're brave enough, bang a motor transport right there. Now, being the reptile equivalent of a Cadillac Escalade means that the Komodo dragon needs to consume a lot of calories to keep that bulk going. However, rather than using that bulk to proactively chase down and body slam its prey, they can take down prey 3 times their size, because as if being a reptilian tank was not enough,
Right.
they are also venomous.
Oh, they
This
are
isn't just
venomous.
your
Never
run-of-the-mill
mind.
snake venom that, you know, gives you a nice quick 15-minute death. No. A Komodo hunt starts with it running up to its prey and giving it a nice big chomp on the leg,
Chompy.
injecting it with hemorrhagic venom. After biting, the Komodo dragon
Hemorrhagic,
and just
so you just
sits
bleed
there watching. The confused and bewildered animal runs off into the forest, leaking blood, allowing that Komodo dragon to track
slowly.
it like a DoorDash order.
Oh my
A week
God.
goes by, and that bite wound isn't closing because hemorrhagic venom prevents blood clots.
Oh.
So
Oh,
the
awesome.
animal is still slowly
Cool.
bleeding out, and the Komodo is still watching. More time passes. That bite wound gets infected.
Oh.
Komodos are carrion feeders, meaning that the inside of their mouth is full
Yeah,
of
yeah,
enough
yeah, that's what I was
rotten
talking
flesh
about.
and
Yeah.
bacteria to give Asmongold a run for his money. The infection begins to drain the animal's strength, and the Komodo is still watching. Another week passes.
3
the infection
weeks?
has spread, and the flesh has begun to rot.
Oh my
And you
God.
best believe that ass lizard is still there watching like he's waiting for his meal to heat up in the microwave.
When does the Komodo eat?
Once the bleeding, disease-ridden animal becomes too exhausted to move on its own and collapses, the Komodo strolls over and eats it alive.
Oh my
shredding
God.
it into chunks if it's larger, or if it's small enough, swallowing it whole as it screams on the way down. Even for me, man, that's fucked.
Never mind. Komodo dragons might be worse than snakes. That's fucking terrifying.
This pigeon saved an entire army battalion.
Heroes never die.
Introducing our protagonist, Cher Ami, a
Cher Ami.
carrier pigeon who was in the employ of the US Army Signal Corps during World War I.
Okay.
See, back in the oldie times, radio technology was kind of dog shit. So
that's
carrier
pretty
pigeons
bad.
were still the meta for DMing the homies memes over distance. Which is how, in 1918, our feathered little shock trooper here ended up in France. With 500 US soldiers stuck 3 kilometers behind enemy lines, completely cut off from supply and reinforcement in a 7-day shootout. You see, Cher Ami's battalion, juiced up on freedom and red crayons, had overextended and become trapped, surrounded on all sides by German soldiers.
That's my favorite.
And to make matters worse, being stuck behind enemy lines meant they were now on the receiving end of US defense spending, being absolutely hammered with friendly artillery.
Ooh.
Stuck as far away as they were, they would have had more luck using their radio as fucking nunchucks than a comms device.
Right.
So they began sending out carrier pigeons in an attempt to tell command to stop fucking shelling them and help on the point.
Jeremy,
the Germans,
tell us to stop hitting us.
Shot every single carrier pigeon the battalion sent out of the air like they were running an AIM Labs warm-up. Until only one remained, Cher Ami. Desperate and rapidly running out of soldiers, the battalion wrote a message and attached it to Cher Ami, sending him into the air and watching him sail above the trees. And just when they thought he was clear, some f***ing sweat on the German side nailed him. The battalion watched in horror as their last hope spiraled out of the sky.
Cher Ami
tore straight through Cher Ami's center of mass, destroying one eye, punching a hole through his chest, and blowing off one of his legs. And this Giga Chad of an animal tanked it.
Do you have any ibuprofen? I got a headache.
The Marines watched in awe as this mangled pigeon picked itself out of the mud and managed to fly clear of German fire. Cher Ami made it the whole way back to base, delivering the message and saving a total of 194 soldiers. Not only did he get the job done, but he lived. He was granted one of the highest military honors the French army could provide and sent into retirement with his trainer. And when he eventually did pass several years later, he was preserved and placed in the Smithsonian, where you can go see him today. There he is. Absolute legend.
What a legend. Jesus, man. That's insane.
This spider hunts with jump scares.
I hate spiders. Y'all know I hate spiders. If this thing hunts with jump scares, do you mean is it not venomous? Does it just scare the fuck out of whatever it is like there and gives it a heart attack? Like,
but how? Introducing the Trapdoor spider, a family of arachnid containing hundreds of species found in every continent on the globe. Meaning, yes, for once, this bad boy could be in your backyard and you'd never know.
Awesome.
Now, trapdoor spiders are particularly interesting compared to other spiders due to their hunting method. You see, normal spiders tend to spend several hours spinning up some elaborate art piece for a fly to clothesline itself on. And tarantulas just jump But trapdoor spiders, they hunt with a door. Very early on in life, trapdoor spiders dig themselves a hole. This silk-lined burrow will then serve as its home for basically its entire 20-year lifespan.
Why does it live so long?
Hell, they basically never leave the thing, like some neckbeard living in his mum's basement. But they've still got to eat, and since DoorDash does not deliver to spiders, this burrow doubles as their method for catching food. You see, they use their silk to craft a trapdoor over the burrow entrance. Then, using their fantastic arts and craft skills, they just bolt a bunch of random shit to their front door so it blends in perfectly with the floor.
Bro, how would you ever know that it's there?
After finishing their construction project, they will spin up a bunch of basically invisible strands of web on the floor in the surrounding area that act as tripwires, feeding information back to their neckbeard nest whenever something steps on it. And when some unfortunate insect steps a little too close...
There you go.
Money.
Yeah, okay.
This spider...
Fuck that.
Australia doesn't just have snakes and spiders. It has a tiger. Well,
Oh, well, yeah, the tiger. The Tasmanian tiger. Isn't it extinct, though?
kinda. Introducing the thylacine, better known as the Tassie tiger. As the name suggests, native to my home state of Tasmania, this tiny little island off Australia's south coast.
No, that is not New Zealand.
They have hobbits, not tigers.
Wait, where's New Zealand, then? I'm American. We don't have geography.
Well, tiger isn't entirely correct. You see, the thylacine isn't a cat on steroids. You see, this bad boy is the largest carnivorous marsupial on the planet.
Oh, it's a
Despite the
marsupial,
kangaroo
not a
coming in
tiger.
at 7 foot tall and throwing kicks like Chun-Li, they are herbivores, and everything else with a pouch that eats meat is about the size of a chihuahua, making this 1.3 meter, 20 kilo kangaroo dog with a tiger persona the only marsupial apex predator. See, these things were ambush hunters, using stealth and speed to silently take down their prey like they're playing Assassin's Creed. On top of being a fully qualified Spec Ops agent, these things had a mouth on them to rival Kirby.
Wow.
Capable of opening their jaw a full 80 fucking degrees,
Holy
which is
shit.
absolutely terrifying and really cool. There's just one small problem.
Yeah, they're gone.
You may have picked up on me talking mostly in the
past
past
tense.
tense,
Yep.
and that all of this footage is in black and white.
Yeah, they're all dead,
That's 'cause
man.
we don't have a tiger.
Yeah.
We had one. Unfortunately, the thylacine was driven to extinction in the late 1980s. By what exactly?
Poachers,
The
probably.
British.
Wait.
You see, when the Brits, did their...
Why did you have to do the British like that, dude?
The British. You see, when the Brits, did
I
their
love
thing
that.
and decided Tasmania was their house now, actually, they brought with them livestock, namely sheep and cattle, which was a fucking blessing to the Tassie tiger, which rapidly added these walking meatballs with the survival instincts of a wet sock to their meal plans.
Obviously.
The colonists did not take kindly to the thylacine taking their livestock without a license in it, so they placed
they
bounties
started
on
killing
their
them.
heads. Never mind that these things never attacked humans and very rarely took their livestock. No, they were an inconvenience.
Right.
And so, they were hunted down.
Yeah.
One by one
God.
by one. For 70 fucking years. Until September 7th, 1936. When the last thylacine, Benjamin, died cold and alone in a cage at the Hobart Zoo. Usually, I'd end these with a joke, but the fact that we wiped his entire bloodline and turned him into a fucking rug isn't that funny.
Why do you turn him into a rug? That makes me so sad. Why do you turn him into a rug? I don't get it.
Who wins?
No, I'm
100
sad.
men or one gorilla? Well, to get your
Oh,
answer,
the
we're
100
gonna
men,
have to look at
apparently.
our fighters for the most anticipated cage match of 2025. And in the red corner, standing at an impressive 6 feet tall and weighing a ridiculous 220 kilos, we have one singular silverback gorilla. Stepping into the ring to settle the score of humanity for what we did to Harambe, this fighter is bringing some impressive physical strength.
Big
capable
strength.
of lifting up to 800
Not a lot of stamina, though,
kilos of
apparently.
weight. Meaning that if it gets its hands on you, a gorilla is more than capable
Of ripping you in
picking
half.
you up and doing you the same way that Hulk did Loki.
Yep.
Now, on top of being stronger than Eddie Hall, they also have an unreal reach advantage with a 2.6 meter wingspan, which is a fairly major problem because a right hook from a gorilla produces 2,700 pounds of force.
That's crazy.
To put that into perspective, the human skull shatters at 1,400. So if Winston hits you with a haymaker, your head is going to pop like a watermelon.
Like that,
And with a cage fight following the Mortal Kombat rule set, we can also factor in the gorilla's bite. Because despite being a pretty gentle herbivore in the wild,
It's
they
spinning,
have one of
boy.
the highest
Spinning.
bite forces on the planet at 1,300 PSI.
Wow.
That is 100 PSI more than a polar bear. And now with our fighter
insane.
statistics out of the way, let's get down to business. Can our gorilla win a fight against the 100 average men in the blue corner?
No, it can't.
Place your bets. Let's see who comes out on top.
100 people.
I'm going to keep it real with you. Even with those stats, Winston here is getting bodied. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's going back to the spawn room. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200 directly to hanging out with Harambe in heaven. 100 people. It's just too fucking many. He's getting
it's way
jumped.
too many.
However, not to say he's not going to take a few.
Oh,
with
he's
him.
going to take a
My
couple.
guess is one
Yeah.
guy runs up and gets swatted across the cage like a toddler, shatters his ribs against the bars. Second guy gets grabbed by the leg and given the Hulk treatment. About 6 other guys cop swings to the head and die instantly from broken necks.
Right.
One dumbass is probably going to try to hit him off the top rope and get done the same way that Omni-Man did Nightwing. Oh! But at that point, the crowd probably jumps in and realizes that there are still about 90 of them and it's over.
Yeah.
Not that
Yeah.
the fight even needs to happen, but it wouldn't be the first time we lost a gorilla to human stupidity. Who wins? 100. This bird is a serial killer.
Jesus Christ, you're the Bay Harbor Butcher.
I really hate that name.
Introducing the Shrike, a group of feathery friends found
I
all
miss
over the
watching
world,
Dexter. I
including
haven't
the
watched it
land
in a
down
while.
under. Now, at first glance, you may be thinking to yourself,
You
how
might be
can this
thinking.
sweet little guy be a vicious killer? I mean, he's so tiny.
He's just a little tiny little
They
guy.
only grow up to around 30 centimeters and cap their weight
Wow.
out at 90 grams. And on
How
top
could
of
this
being
little guy
about
be a
as
serial
threatening
killer?
as a fucking teddy bear, look
Oh.
at their claws. A shrike trying to end anything with its talons is like trying to stab a hippopotamus to death with a fucking pool noodle.
Right.
Listen
how
to
is it?
It sings like it's on American Idol.
Yeah.
It's a songbird, a branch geek. You'd never heard a fly.
Yeah,
but
never.
I'm fucking onto you, Tweety.
You give me a fucking creeps. You know that, Dexter?
You may have everyone else fooled, but I know exactly what you are, because shrikes actually have another name. They're called fucking butcher birds.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's right. The Dexter jokes actually had a fucking point.
Okay.
You see, when the Bay Harbor butcher bird wants to hunt, they first start by selecting a target.
Tonight's the night.
Now, unlike
It's the
Dexter,
night.
their code tells them they can eat whatever the they want.
Okay.
Insects, mice, me, even
Lizard.
And
Lizard.
once they pick their meal, they wait for the right moment and swoop on it. Now, while those claws might be fucking useless, they
What about its
do
beak?
have a signature weapon. That tiny hook on the end of their beak.
Okay.
And once they land on their victim, they slide that hook into its neck, perfectly slotting between their vertebrae and severing their fucking spinal cord.
Oh my god.
Converting their prey into a vegetable isn't enough. No.
They eat it
These
alive?
sick fucks keep trophies. Once they
Wait,
have
what?
paralyzed their prey and shattered its spine, they will fly its corpse back to their larder, which is either a thorn bush or a fucking barbed wire fence.
Oh
And
my
once
god.
they get home, they fucking impale them.
They will then leave
my
that
God.
corpse there for days, occasionally biting chunks out of it, eating it like leftovers from the fucking fridge.
What the
Dexter collected blood slides. These fuckers create kebabs.
This thing is literally Dracula but as a bird. Like, what the fuck?
This bird is a vampire.
Never mind. This one's
Introducing the
Dracula.
vampire brown finch, native to the Galapagos Islands, and a great example of the horrifying affronts to the universe that evolution can produce when it decides to do a little trolling. Now, you see, at first glance,
Oh,
this is
man.
the most boring vampire you can possibly imagine.
Right.
Coming in at a measly 12 centimeters and a mere
That's pretty massive.
20 grams in weight.
Ooh, that's kind of small.
No, what do
Rocking
you
a feather
mean?
pattern I can best describe as a Minecraft
Massive.
dirt block. And as it turns out, the bastards that wrote Twilight lied to me because it doesn't even fucking sparkle.
Skin of a killer.
Well, it's sparkling
So
now.
if it's missing fangs, angst, a cape, and the funny accent,
You must bounce on it.
how does it qualify as a
Crazy
vampire?
style.
Simple. Drinks a shitload of blood. You see, most birds eat seeds and insects, and while the vampire finch can eat those too, there is a problem. They live on an island, and that island is very small. In fact,
Got
they're
it.
only found on 2 of the Galapagos Islands, and
That's
small
kinda- yeah,
islands
wow,
means a
okay.
far smaller amount of that food to go around.
To the point where these finches can't rely on it as their sole source.
Which for a bird usually isn't a problem. Because, you know, they don't need a plane ticket to just...
Yeah, they can just
fly
fucking leave.
somewhere.
Yeah.
However, as the name suggests, the vampire ground finch can't fly for
Oh.
So, how do they get their
Oh,
food?
I see.
They suck it out of someone that can. This, don't laugh, is the Nazca booby. Hey, stop giggling back there. Another species of bird native to the islands. They are very strong flyers that feed on fish. They also nest on the islands, which is where our feathery Nosferatu comes to play. You see, when the boobies... Stop giggling. Come to roost, the vampire finch will sneak over and hop onto their back. Then, using their razor-sharp beak, they will poke a very small, borderline painless hole into one of the bird's flight feathers.
That looks
Once the blood
painful.
is flowing freely, the vampire finch gorge themselves on it. See, as it turns out, blood is macro-friendly. And considering these things are living creatures, they just make more blood.
Right.
In essence, giving the vampire finch an infinite food source. In fact, they can get so much blood from these birds, it is not uncommon to see multiple finches sucking
What?
from the
What
same
the fuck?
boobie.
What the? What the heck?
I can't say that.
Oh man, those are some weird bleeding boobies. Anyway, thanks for watching the full video if you made it this far. If you liked it, please remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.